I'm seeing right now, at least for the company that I'm leased on, you're not going to pass the inspection. If you find a deficiency, annotate. Hey, what's going on, YouTube? I appreciate y'all coming back for another video. This video is going to be basically piggybacking off the last video that I posted in regards to whether or not it's the right time to come out here for RV transport or to wait. What I'm seeing right now, at least for the company that I'm leased on with, loads are starting to free up. So if you want to or have been thinking about doing this, go ahead and keep doing your research as far as what company to lease on with. But if you've been wanting to do it, go ahead and start the process of leasing on somewhere, making sure your truck is lined out as far as maintenance wise goes, because any company that you try to lease on with out here, you're going to be required to do a DOT inspection. If your truck's not up to par, you're not going to pass the inspection. They're not going to give you the decal to stick on your truck that says you're good to go unless you correct any deficiencies they find. So now's the time to get on that. Anything as far as fluid leaks, tires, brakes, lights, windows, cracks in your windows. I'll leave a link up here that'll take you to basically a generic pre-trip inspection. That way you'll have a good mind's eye of what to be looking out for, and go ahead and start studying that thing, because you're going to be required to test out on it anyways. At least at my company, they made us test out on it a long time ago. But start going over that stuff now. You can start doing a pre-trip inspection on your truck before you even lease on. That way it's a good step-by-step that'll take you through every single process. If you find a deficiency, annotate it. What that deficiency is. Get on fixing that. Because not only were you going to be required to have that stuff corrected before you lease on, DOT Blitz week is coming up in a few months. It's going to be this year, May 12th through the 14th. It's going to be a 72-hour time frame. It's supposed to be running non-stop, day and night, for that 72 hours. DOT is going to be out here stopping everything that looks like a commercial vehicle and inspecting them. So get on that stuff now, because it would suck big time to just get hired on out here doing this and not even have a good source of income yet, as far as having a good savings account or maintenance account built up. And then next thing you know, you look in your rear view mirror, there's a DOT trying to pull you over and do an inspection on you. And if we all know, even though you find something and correct it before you get leased on, anything man-made is bound to fail. So from that time frame all the way up until Blitz week kicks off, anything can happen to your vehicle, which is why you need to be doing a good pre-trip and post-trip on your trucks every single day. That way, if there's anything that goes wrong, you can get on top of it and get it fixed, before DOT Blitz week kicks off. I'm not going to go into depth of detail about, certain equipment that you need to have on your truck to be able to do this job, because, if it's a required piece of equipment, whatever company that you try to lease on with, they're going to give you a check sheet, and that stuff needs to be on your truck per company policy. And anything else that'll be on that check sheet, that's going to be for DOT purposes. If you get pulled over and inspected, 9 times out of 10, that's what they're going to be checking for, like a fire extinguisher. And the fire extinguisher has to be mounted to the vehicle, readily accessible. Fuses, light bulbs, So yeah, if you're looking on this video to try to find out what type of certain equipment that you need for your vehicle, there's other videos out there that cover that in depth and detail. Just do your research. Just type in, either Google or YouTube, required DOT equipment or stuff like that for RV transport or hot shot. This will cover for hot shot as well. So with that being said, you got plenty of time to get on top of your equipment. Make sure it's good to go before Blitz week kicks off. If your equipment's good to go to pass a DOT inspection to initially lease on to a company, that's great. Make sure you stay on top of your equipment. Make sure if anything goes wrong, you start getting a leak, your brakes start squealing. If you're doing your pre-trip inspection, you look at a rotor, you start seeing heat stress cracks, get that stuff addressed. Get on top of it as soon as possible. you know, because anything can happen even before DOT Blitz week. You know, you could just get a DOT officer that you pass in the median, he gets a wild hair up his ass, like, I want to stop that one and see what they're about. They pulls you over and they find a violation, you got a violation, and points on your CSA score. That's if you're a CDL holder, that is. You can do this job without a CDL. Don't let anybody try to fool you on that. There are certain limitations to that, though, if you have a regular driver's license versus a CDL, and that's going to be in regards to how much weight you can haul. Again, this video is not necessarily going to be an in-depth and detailed coverage on that. There's plenty of other videos out there that cover that. Just do your research on that. Again, this video is more geared towards the new driver that's just getting leased on, or somebody that's thinking about leasing on to a company out here and doing RV transport. On another note, there's a new podcast that's just kicked off called Mrpickuptruckerpodcast. All right, it's got Seth from the Transporter, Steve from Horner's Corner, and Justin from Cows and Campers. 3 great guys, put out a lot of great information. If you're new at this, tune into that podcast. Any question that you have, ask it in the comments. They will address it. If they don't know the answer, they'll tell you they don't know the answer. But, you know, they're not going to feed you a line of smoke or, you know, tell you what you want to hear. So far, it's a great podcast. Love it. Really knowledgeable. Like I said, if they don't know, they don't know. They'll tell you. But go ahead and go over there, give them a subscribe if you would. Like and comment on all their media that they put out. If you like this video, if you would, like, comment, subscribe. I'm not out here to take anybody's money or anything like that. I started out doing this, you know, fresh out of the boat, just like you did or are thinking of. You know, I had plenty of questions, didn't have anybody to ask. You know, I had to learn the hard way on my own. So if you got any questions, my email's in the channel description. Shoot me an email. You know, I'll answer any question that I can for you. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you I don't know the answer, and I'll direct you to, you know, somebody that possibly might would. But yeah, this is going to wrap this one up. I appreciate y'all stopping in. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe if you would. If you do get out here doing this, give us a shout. You know, we're out here to help anybody. We're not looking for any kind of, you know, payback or anything like that. The only kind of payback we want is basically, you know, once you have the knowledge, pass it on to somebody else. Don't be a gatekeeper or hoard it or anything like that, you know. But other than that, appreciate y'all stopping in. Y'all have a great weekend.